So strong was habit that there were said to be cases of the monkey burglar going through this performance at houses where the front door stood open, or where a builder's ladder, left in position overnight, was reared against the very point he gained by the more sensational flight. During the thick of the burglary season that year, each number of Punch regularly contained one or more jokes about the monkey. No pantomime was complete without a few references to him, and the burgled invariably tried to claim distinction as authentic victims. In this the press, to do it justice, worthily seconded their endeavours. The Enderleys lived near Silver Park at that time, in one of the old-fashioned cottages that have long, delightful gardens running down to the river edge. They were a young couple, setting themselves a very moderate standard until the day when Enderley's wonderful qualities should be suitably recognised by a partnership. In the meanwhile, he was something exceptionally responsible, but not so exceptionally rewarded, in connection with a firm of estate agents and surveyors. Max Carrados had heard of him favourably from one or two friends, and was not unwilling to put business in the young man's way. An opportunity came when the blind criminologist had, as trustee, to deal with an estate down in Warwickshire. He ascertained that Enderley was not debarred from doing work on his own account, and gave him a commission to inspect the property and make a general report. Business being slack, there was no difficulty in arranging a few days' leave of absence from the office, and the proposal was gratefully accepted. On his return, he had conscientiously managed to cover the ground within 2 days. Enderley looked in at the turrets before proceeding home, and found Mr. Carrados at leisure. "I thought that I would leave the report with you now," he explained, "in case you cared to glance over it and ask me about any details while it's all fresh in my mind. I wrote up my notes in the train on the way back." "Good man," smiled Carrados, accepting the docket. "I should have liked you to stay while we discuss the matter, but I'm afraid that someone else has a prior lien on your time." "In what way?" "A few hours ago, Mrs. Enderley rang me up on the phone, and there is what I might describe as a standing order for you to communicate with her from here at the earliest moment." "Good heavens!" exclaimed Enderley in some trepidation. "What's up, I wonder? Nothing wrong that you know of?" "Nothing at all," replied Carrados with reassuring unconcern. "Your wife was in exceptional spirits, I gathered, but somewhat cryptical. However, there is the means of setting your mind at rest," and he indicated the instrument. "I'll leave you to it." "Please don't go." Enderley seemed to be toying with the moment, as if rather unwilling to set his mind at rest. "I was startled for a second, but if my wife herself spoke to you, there can't be anything much the matter. The fact is," he confided with a certain shy complacency, "she's been getting rather fanciful of late. Not an unusual phase of the situation, I understand." Mr. Carrados murmured his discreet congratulations, and his visitor summed up enough indifference to make the call. "Holy Moses!" the blind man heard him mutter, and there followed a rapid fusillade of "How?" and "When?" and "What?" and "You don't mean it!" all indicating consternation and surprise, as long as the colloquy lasted. "Here's a pretty go," announced Mr. Enderley, hanging up the receiver. "We've been burgled." "The deuce!" exclaimed Carrados sympathetically. "I hope your wife isn't much upset." "No, I don't think so. In fact, she seems rather set up, because some of our neighbours were robbed in a very commonplace way lately, and she's determined that this must have been the authentic monkey." "Much taken?" "Apparently the silver chest and nothing else. Myra rather fancied that I would call here on my way from something I had said. That's why she rang you up, and she wants me to go straight on. I hope you don't mind." "Of course not. I had hoped that you would keep me company for an hour or two, but that's out of the question now. I'll tell you what, though. I will make a bargain with you. Stay another 15 minutes, in which we can have a snack of some kind in place of dinner. In the meanwhile, I will have a...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.